Alright guys, so it feels like it's a bit soon, but we should actually be getting Super Saiyan Bardock's details for Squadra within the next day or two. The reason why we know this, in case you're curious, they usually do drop it the Thursday/Friday before his official drop, which is going to be the 27th. They give the video to the creators who are in the creator program, and those creators cover it themselves, and then we're able to see, what Bardock's gameplay is able to look like, which is really nice. So Bardock seems really interesting to me, and today we're just gonna kind of talk about what I want to see from Bardock in terms of being a tank role character and how I expect him to look like in game. Of course, this is just a discussion prediction to gauge the community's expectation for this guy. Now, tank is actually in a pretty good spot right now. I feel like compared to season 2, it's way better because Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta did get his nerfs, which I don't think were super impactful. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of the Divine combo card changes really benefited like Cooler, Super Saiyan 2 Caulifla. I see Super Saiyan Vegeta back in play a little bit. The release of characters like Broly and even Super Vegeta, make Baby a more viable option in general. These characters that are able to kind of like dominate a lane, especially with how much healing Baby could provide, like when you run a full red card set. It's actually pretty funny. And the only two I think are lacking a little in my opinion still are Cell and Zamasu. There's some people who actually think Cell is a little better because of the team fight meta. I just think he's just a bit too weak so early on. Zamasu could be good in Super Start, but it's like really mostly Superstar. Outside of that, he still doesn't do enough in my opinion. I think these two are the characters that do need adjustments out of the tanks. It would be really good if they release Bardock, give Cell like an HP or shield buff, then Zamasu give him like a extra CC, like a stagger and skill 2, because Zamasu is really close to actually being very competitive. Even he just needs a bit more to his kit. Like a stagger would be really cool, or some ability to kind of draw, like to kind of keep enemies in bay in a sense, right? Especially as a character who wants to be in the enemy's face and wants to be very aggressive. I think a stagger would be really good for him. But we actually do have a Bardock, like what's it called, details here, so we could, well, I say details, but like we do have a little bit of gameplay from his trailer just to take a quick look. Of course, this is what I assume like his intro would be. Now, this is his first skill, which looks like to be in some sort of auto lock move, where if we slow things down for you guys a little, again, we could see he just teleports back and forth between multiple of these enemies. This seems like it could be a really good move, not only just for farming, but for potentially grouping enemies together. It knocks them back as well. If they're killed, I guess. Actually, no, they were killed specifically. But I wonder how this is going to look like when it's in game and how powerful it could be. I assume it's going to obviously be a move that's better when you're in a team fight situation, which they're really heavily pushing for these characters to be good in team fights, which makes sense because it is at the end of the day a Dragon Ball game as well, right? So let's take a look here. Here's his transformation, or I almost said his transformation, of course. So this is his other skill that we saw. This one, we don't know too much about it. It looks like an uppercut. I feel like it's possible this is a stagger. We don't know for sure, but this seems like a very stagger-esque move. We don't know if there's a follow-up to this, like like how Ultimate Gohan could have a second skill follow-up. We don't know if this is his entire skill, but to me it looks like this might be it could potentially be a stagger move, which I think a lot of tanks do have that way to kind of lock down the enemy or keep them at bay. Like, for example, Cell's grab, Cooler's grab. We have, Caulifla, I guess, has, Provoke, which is a different mechanic entirely. All these characters have, like, some way, even Vegeta's skill 2, Cooler's ultimate, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, like, just a lot of, like, movement going on with, like, these characters. Even Baby's skill 1. I guess Zamasu's skill 2 is, like, the best option for that, but you guys kind of get the point, where this seems like this is going to be potentially one of the moves that'll keep an opponent in check, and it does seem to have a long range. And if we put it into normal speed, it is actually like, it's not like the fastest move of all time, but it's decently fast, where it could potentially get in your way. And of course, this is his Super Saiyan transformation. We know he transforms into Super Saiyan Bardock, so that's really cool. Then the final thing is his ultimate, which we don't really have too much about it. I mean, we don't actually see what it does. I mean, we see that it shoots Frieza out, but there's nothing else. And after this, we just get Kefla gameplay. So, I mean, again, we see there's an auto-lock move. There is, like I said, his uppercut, which could be a stagger potentially, but we are not going to know what it does until it releases. For all we know, it could be like it could just give him defense up and defense down to the enemy or something. Like, it could really do anything, but let's see what the players are thinking, honestly. So, Ultimate Gohan 2, I would not like that. I feel like we don't need a character that not only is annoying in a sense, but also dominates their own role. I don't think that's what Bardock needs to be. I feel like even if Bardock's just like right under Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, it would suck. Just because it's like, oh, you know, no one's being replaced in the meta. But I feel like when it comes to the meta, even though Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta is the best option, and I think you'll see a lot of Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta still, I think maybe they might be able to perform different roles. Like maybe, excuse me, Bardock could be a character kind of like Super Saiyan Vegeta even, where maybe he restores a lot of shield, or, you know, like Baby fills a different role. I feel like even Cooler has like different aspects to him that you might want to pick Cooler depending on like your play style. So we'll see. But Ultimate Gohan 2, I'm not sure about that. Frieza buff because it's thematic. You know, it would be nice for Frieza to get a buff. I think Frieza sucks right now. I don't know what I would change for Frieza. I'm not like the greatest like Frieza player of all time, of course. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend I know that all the in and outs of Frieza, right? Like some real like Frieza fans will, but he needs something to kind of help him sustain. And I think it's really the Zarbon and Dodoria cooldowns are very, very sad. You don't do it for a tank unit, but you want him to have some last stand mechanics, especially with how Ultimate Gohan wants to isolate someone's Bardock thriving. When he's isolated, would be cool too. I guess that could be interesting, where it's like if Bardock is by himself, or, you know, Bardock could get a passive just like Super Saiyan Goku, where, if you guys don't know, Super Saiyan Goku has a passive where he gets stronger if an ally near him is KO'd. What if Bardock, if an ally near him is KO'd, he gets like a huge defensive boost rather than this offense boost? So what happens is, again, for Super Saiyan Goku, if an ally near you is KO'd by an enemy, that enemy becomes a target of anger. This is actually a pretty good, significant damage increase. I feel like people don't realize that Goku has this sometimes, but this is actually really like noticeable damage increase from what I've seen, and it makes them findable as well, just like anywhere on the map, so you can just chase them down and finish them off, which is really cool. And I think it's like one of the more, it's actually an underrated aspect of this guy. But Bardock, what if he has that where it's like an enemy is KO'd, but then he gains like all defense up and movement speed up or something, and you could just like target them, or you could like block your, you know, allies from taking more damage or something like that. Like that could be really interesting. Or it's like the more allies that are dead, the more tanky Bardock is. Imagine how crazy that could be, and he could just like 4v1 someone and prevent like team wipes in certain situations. That could be, you know, kind of cool maybe, but that would make him different for sure. You just hope he's really good. I agree. You want him to humiliate Ultimate Gohan and Hit? I mean, I'm not sure what they would do for that specifically. Hit is just a character that needs to be nerfed generally. Ultimate Gohan, I feel like Ultimate Gohan's not good at escaping. That's the biggest thing about that guy. You want him to be Giga Broken so you can put pay to win in the title. I mean, hey, if it's pay to win in the title, I will also be doing that. Like, for Ultimate Gohan, I remember my title. What is even game balance? Because they decided to release that character the way he was, and that was crazy. I can't what, dude? I actually can't believe they released Ultimate Gohan like that. It's so insane. You want the whole team slow down, not overpowered stuns, but a tank for the team fights, maybe with a comeback ultimate. I could see the ultimate being like a pushback ultimate maybe, but who knows. Yo, becomes with a balance pack that makes Gotenks playable. I mean, considering how they just nerfed Gotenks like 2 weeks ago again though, I feel like if we're gonna see Gotenks nerf, it probably wouldn't be in this season or buffs in this season because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. They literally just nerfed him. Would they revert that? They could technically like revert things, but would they do it so soon? I'm not sure. Not overpowered, but still fun to use. You want him to be distinctively different from Vegeta while being on par / better. They can make him extremely mobile, have some form of buffs when the allies' god of destruction gets damaged, some buffs relative to how close he is to allied gods. I feel like, again, based off of his teammates, would be kind of what I would go for. And Bardock, of course, is the lone warrior that stood against Frieza, basically. So I could see him, again, getting these extra like defensive buffs when he's like by himself, which could be cool. You want him to be just like Broly and Vegeta in terms of release. Very good and strong character, but he still has some flaws, so you could deal with him when fighting him. Unlike Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta Ultimate Gohan, who just don't allow you to play the game at all. Well, yeah, that'd be awesome. And then we get Gotenks, and people... That's the thing with Gotenks, is, I mean, not to be mean, but it's a skill check, where if you know how to play against Gotenks, you could actually decently counter him. If you didn't know how to play against Gotenks, he was really good. And a lot of people didn't know how to play against this guy, so they just nerfed every good thing that he has, so that now he sucks. That was the issue. Them releasing a character like Gotenks, but we'll see. I mean, Broly and Vegeta's releases were actually generally very healthy for the game. I think they're both good characters without being too busted. I feel like post Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta releases have both been really good, which is only the two. But like, if we think about all the releases in the game, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, I think, was not a healthy release. I don't know what they were thinking with that guy even now. We can go to, who was the next character? Gotenks was a healthy release. I think Toppo was like a slightly underwhelming release, but he was not unhealthy for the game. Then we had Ultimate Gohan and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta back to back, which is pretty awful. Then the two last attackers have been really good. And again, to me, nothing about Bardock screams like overpowered. Like, we'll see though. You know, it's not impossible to imagine Bardock being very cracked, but I feel like they're maybe getting their... I think they're understanding what may work in the game. I mean, some of the nerfs and buffs are still so questionable, but I think everything else that they've changed about the game this patch and the new character releases have been quite good. Like the Divine Combo card changes, the Android 16 change to Gekishin was really good. So I think that it's not really the biggest deal. Like, you know, or it's not going to be like the biggest ask for Bardock to be like a balanced release generally. Strong, but with some flaws, right? You need him to be great 1v4s. I mean, yeah, I could see that for sure. You want him to make tank enjoyable. Everything, yeah, because the thing about Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta is he feels like a very, I wouldn't say uninteractive character, but like his shield, you just kind of sit there and, you know, protect, right? You know, it's like, duh, but, you know, I don't know, his ultimate is just like a button. You're just like, oh yeah, I don't want you guys near me, and you just press the button, and then you just stand there. His shield, you just kind of sit there. His stun, you just like wait in clouds and just have patience, wait for a moment. Like, Vegeta doesn't even feel that interactive. I feel like as a tank character, it's weird, as a tank character, he fulfills everything you would want from a character that's a tank, but in terms of gameplay, he's very boring to play because of what his optimal plays would be. Well, as a character like Cooler, or even Super Saiyan Vegeta, or even, you know, well, maybe not as much, but like Caulifla, Cell all feel so much more interactive. Cell could be really good with that buff, like I said, like an HP shield buff, but I think Bardock could be like, you know, maybe even just Super Saiyan Vegeta, but like on a slightly higher tier or something, right? Just like more interactive. I think Bardock will probably be an interactive character. That's what it seems like to me. The passive that buffs him if allies near him. Exactly, right? You hope he stuns enemy heroes for 3.5 seconds. Some of you guys are crazy. That is definitely a troll comment though. Be good but not obnoxious. Refresh his ultimate with an ally dice. Ooh, that could be interesting. This will change the future. Imagine like what if if he kills an enemy, okay, this sounds crazy. Imagine he gets huge buffs when, like, a defensive boost when he's like the last enemy standing. But if he gets a KO, what if he shortens allies death counts? I don't think that will be a thing. That sounds way too good. But at the same time, it's not like he's gonna be doing a lot of damage anyways, right? And he specifically would have to get the KO. It just feels like such a snowball effect. But again, it's only something that could happen if he was the last character standing. So it's not like he would be able to get help, and you would have to play really smartly to get it. And then even then, it's like not like fully recovering the ally, but maybe it's like a -5 seconds if you like outplay your opponents in a 1v4 and you kill at least one of them. Like, that could be kind of cool. Like, you would have to balance it a really certain way. But it's like, I'm changing the future, my allies are back, even though that doesn't really match what happened. Maybe another character would fit that better, but just throwing it out there. As long as they don't make a mechanic like that, like busted, like, oh yeah, I tap, like for every rush attack I land when all my allies did it, they lose 1 revive count, and then they revive like faster. That would be something like that would be stupid, but I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have put that out. This sounds more reasonable. Refreshing an ult when ally dies, or like giving him just like a second stock somehow if he already has the ult up. We want him to be balanced but good. You're just hyped for this dude. Give Bardock Z the respect he deserves and let him cook. You kind of hope he's like a half DPS, kind of like what Gotenks was for technical. So far, the only crowd control you can see him is a push from his super attack. So you're very interested to see how he actually identifies as a tank. You can see him working like Super Saiyan Vegeta and his armor, or even damage reduction stacking. Like, yeah, I feel like damage reduction stacking, maybe a small amount of armor restoration like Super Saiyan Vegeta. But like, the more allies dead, the more his damage reduction stacks. I think it'd be cool. Maybe that's why they nerfed build up the way they did. Maybe this guy has a lot of damage reduction. Maybe. You waiting for his release just so you can pick Super Vegito with the 109 star collection choice? Hey, you know what? W. Everyone's gonna be able to pick Vegito. My video next week, one of them is just gonna be Super Vegito is free. Right? This free character is broken or something. I don't know. We'll figure something out. You're trying to finish the mission in Squadron, but you can't figure out how to do it. You actually kill 13 enemy heroes who are 8 meters or more away. It's just using like ranged attacks. So, I mean, you could just hop into CPU battle, use Kale, use Bojack. Like, you want them to be, you can't like use like Super Saiyan Goku and like dive in and kill them. Like, you're way too close. You need to use these ranged characters. Piccolo is another really good option, but yeah. You want a really good and fun tank, but you know what we need more? A good and fun technical. Tech is by far the least fun you've had playing any game ever. I feel like technical was way more fun in season 1. Season 2, it just didn't get as good. Season 3, I think it's better, but it's like, okay, who am I gonna say top 3 technicals right now? Kid Gohan 17, and then Ultimate Gohan or Hit. It's between these 4, but it's like Majin Buu, I think, needs a little more to him somewhere. Frieza's bad, Gotenks is bad, Krillin's like okay. Like, I feel like 4, it's like 4 are really good, and then 4 are kind of either mediocre or just bad, just straight up bad, which is not really nice. Hit's also a character that I feel like the best way to play him is very uninteractive. Though I would say Kid Gohan and 17 are actually kind of fun to me. Personally, I do have fun playing them. And as much as Ultimate Gohan gets flack, I have fun playing Ultimate Gohan. He's a silly character, and I feel like it's a little easier to punish Ultimate Gohan than people think. He's just really annoying and laning. That's really it. Maybe they just need to tune down just like how quickly he's able to get his staggers is kind of astounding. I feel like they need to find some way to tune down where they get rid of like he has a wall stun too. Like they just need to remove like he does. Dude, this guy does actually everything. It's so insane. His ultimate used to just do so much damage too, and he used to have just a lot. Like, dude, oh my goodness, the Gohan glaze was crazy. Maybe Majin Buu could get. I mean, what would I do? I like his skill 1 and skill 2. His skill 3, maybe something needs about that needs to be adjusted, I feel like, but that's kind of it. But like if we compare it to like Tank, I think Tank's in a more fun competitive spot right now. Season 2 Tank was just awful though. It's just really Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Before Broly release, it's like Baby had Topo, and that's all you got. That's all you had, man. You had Topo. The rest of these guys didn't really matter as much in the build-up meta. It's like you literally ran Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. That's pretty much it. You want him to taunt point and click abilities and hit him with an unblockable counter. You want Ultimate Gohan dead, not B8. You know, the tank roll servers are going to crash. You hope his HP is 1, so it's lore accurate and all the fighters can one-tap him. That's kind of sad. Hopefully not. But let me know what you guys are thinking, what you want to see from Bardock. That's all I have to say, and we'll catch you guys next time.